do this thing. I had an initially unproductive day today because my new replacement graphics card arrived. So I plugged that baby in. I wanted to stress test it and make sure that it was working perfectly, and sure enough it was. I did video editing, worked on checked out Unity, and played a bunch of games to make sure that it was working, and I ended up playing games for a good 2 or 3 hours. And yeah, so I didn't get much done then. But because I'm such a baller, I turned my bad fortune around and then got to work. So actually, I ended up doing quite a bit today. I got started on level 6. As you can see, I pretty much got most of it done. Well, maybe most of it is an exaggeration, but I got the basics all done. All right, the whole level is set up. As you can see, no decorations yet though, and obstacles are not set up yet, just the placeholder prototypes for it. Got started on the roofing as well, the exterior area. I even set up the collision for the entire first floor, but I did not do it on the second floor because I ran into a similar issue as I did on the last level once I started putting this together. The dimensions of a few of these rooms, most especially these 4 right here, ended up being a lot smaller than the original design I had. And that's because of how you can see here, like this is a really perfect example of it. Like this in the original prototype, this wall is meant to be maybe kind of like literally this length. But because of this art style we have to create this illusion and the length of the walls, there's no way to really get the exact original dimensions I had since I don't take into account the size of the walls. So I went in and kind of just like overlaid these rooms on top of the original prototype and then manually tried to figure out what the new dimensions should be so that it matches the original as best as possible. It won't be perfect since it's literally not possible with the lengths of the walls, but yeah, anyway, so I came up with the new dimensions and sent it to Amanda to get that fixed up, just like we had to do for the 5th level as well. Furthermore, while I was setting this level up, there's so many little things I have to do when I'm creating a new level, because when I made all these prototypes, it was way back, like well before I ever released a demo, and so many things changed and I updated and improved so many things in the levels that I included in the demo that when I go to start adding the assets into here, there's like a whole bunch of stuff missing from the scene that needs to be set up first. So kind of inefficient in that way that I'm having to do this manually. So a hard lesson learned to make sure that when I start doing the prototypes for the game's 2nd and 3rd acts, that I'm gonna make like a fully finished template first that I use for every prototype, so that I can not only have all the things it needs under the hood set up and ready to go, but also when I'm mapping out the walls to include like the actual sizes of the walls, so that I don't have to keep correcting things with Amanda either. We don't have to do like a back and forth, but just get it right the first time, hopefully. So that way, it'll be more smooth sailing. It's a little inefficient on my part right now, since I did not plan well enough ahead, but I guess, hey, that's how game development goes, right? Okay, anyway. Let's play a little bit. I mean, there's not much to see. I didn't really set the enemies. The enemies are still, they're just like very loosely set up from the way I had it in the prototype. That guy's patrol is inside the wall, or his position is right in the wall. God damn it. Oh yeah, one thing that's a little weird about this level, as you can see, there are actually 2 different possible entrances you can go through. So I think it might be a little awkward that the player has to like go diagonally at the beginning every time they reset. So I might just make it automatically start. Actually, maybe I'll make it smart, where like whichever one you go through the first time, I'll just like start you off in front of that one whenever you die to deal with that. Bro, so bad at this game. Alright. Alright, that's what I'm talking about. This is probably... Yeah, that's not set up at all. But anyway, that room down there is probably, so far, the biggest room in the game. You can see it's got quite a lot of space to it. So it should be a pretty fun, interesting challenge. Mix things up compared to all the mostly much smaller rooms that the game has been throwing at you so far up until this level. And the only other thing I did on the game today was, in the process of doing this, I discovered a bug actually, kind of funny. I set up this whole system where when enemies are far away from you, I don't render them, I don't animate them, I don't do anything to save some, to optimize things a bit. And unfortunately, however, the problem is if you go far enough away, like if, let's say, because in this level you have 2 rooms at the very beginning, right? So you can actually skip one of those rooms for some reason if you wanted to. And if you go far enough into the level, it will then disable the sprites and the animations and everything for those enemies that are still alive up in that first room, right? And the problem is that when you then reset the level, the reset function only resets the sprites and the rendering and all that stuff for the body, but not the head. And so then for the rest of your gameplay, the enemies are missing their heads. So because of the way the levels are set up for the first 4 levels, I think it's possible to make it happen, but I think it's a little bit more rare because of how things are laid out. Nonetheless, the bug was in fact in the demo, and probably somebody saw it. So anyway, I fixed that up and then uploaded it to Steam so that hopefully, who knows, maybe I got lucky. Maybe nobody saw it before I managed to fix it. And yeah, that's it for the game today. Promotional campaign. I finally figured out what I want to do for it. For the framing of the shots. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's just kind of funny after all this hard work I've done to try to find the perfect shot, the perfect framing. I ended up coming up with something quite simple that I think works effectively and sort of came across it randomly. But anyway, yeah, I know how I want to frame it. The only thing left really to figure out exactly how I want to do it is the lighting, but I don't think it'll be too hard to do that. I knew exactly what equipment I needed now, so I went ahead and ordered that, and that should be arriving within the next week or so, and I can finally begin making these videos, so I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Tomorrow I gotta send my graphics card back in, my defective graphics card, so that they don't charge me $1,000 for the new one. And yeah, I'm gonna continue working on level 6. And do my usual thing. And that's pretty much it. And most importantly of all, tomorrow, primary focus number 1 is get to bed at an earlier hour, because I have been slipping hard on that. But everything else is going okay. And I think it is a testament to my perseverance and my fortitude that even though I had a late day and was unproductive for like half of it, I ended up getting a whole bunch of stuff done and killing it. And now I'm going to bed. I bid you farewell.